to Councilor Cotwell, Nave, Hogan, and Jones Rouser for joining us.
Hi, Janet Burke. I'm the Director of Research. It's a pleasure to be here, as usual.
Okay, so you've got the floor if you want to present a little bit about your program, and then
Terrific.
we'll jump into it.
Hi. Yeah, the Bureau of Research is kind of a multifaceted place. We write grants, we manage grants, we do projects on behalf of the mayor's office, and we are kind of the information keeper for many of the departments here in the city. Our primary goal, our primary point is writing grants and managing grants. We have moved more into writing or to managing grants now than we are writing grants. We are assisting other departments on writing grants, and we are writing some of our own, but not as many as we had been before. There had been no mechanism for grants management at all in the city, so we had been asked to take that over.
So do departments have to tell you if they're going to be writing grants?
You know, what we do is we keep track of everything that's on the agenda, the Common Council agenda. So we know every grant that goes through the city, and it gets put on our spreadsheet. Now, every quarter I have been sending...
Even if you're not writing it?
Even if we're not writing
Okay.
it, yes. And I have sent you every quarter a list of the updated grants. I've sent it to the city clerk, so I'm certain it's been to all of you, so we've kept you up to date on the grants that are out there. And it was brought to my attention that you are so involved in approving the grants that lots of times you don't know if we actually get them. Mm-hmm. So
True.
We decided to do that quarterly so that you were aware of where they were in process.
Okay.
And I have a question, because I always, I know you have a lot on your plate when it comes to different departments requesting dollars and trying to even, as far as writing grants, figuring out what's available out there. So is all 6 of these, I don't got my glass on, 6 positions available? Like, are they all full?
Oh, the 60% of the grants that we
No.
write?
Position.
The
Oh, the
positions.
6 positions, sorry, yes, we
Okay.
do have all 6 positions filled, yes.
Okay. And with the grants that you have, that you're writing, are you finding enough, are you getting, because I know you outsource it to Sarah and she's writing grants. Has that been more helpful with being able to maneuver? Do you
Certainly,
foresee-
Sarah has certainly helped us out in a pinch, and she's wonderful. So that's been great, and she was actually able to, we had a big grant with the CDC that has since ended, but the person that was running the grant left to take another position with the state during the middle, and Sarah has been great. She was able to jump in and take over the management of that grant for us, so.
This is my last question, just because I love the grant piece. Do you foresee yourself needing you ever think about, in a budget, creating just one person that just looks for grants for the city?
Oh,
That's all they do.
absolutely. But that would be ideal, certainly.
Okay.
We do that, every single one of us,
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
We all have a list of things that we check, grants.gov, the federal programs, the state programs, the philanthropies. We do check that religiously, but we don't have one person in particular that does that.
So
Yeah.
So I see that you're eliminating for 25, 26, the project manager.
That was the CDC grant that has ended. That was reimbursed by a grant. So that grant ended.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's picking up whatever responsibilities?
Well, that grant, since it's over, there are
So
no
it doesn't
responsibilities.
transfer to any
right,
other-
the reporting's been done, it's all been closed out, and that's.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So with all of these grants in different areas, does the same person who writes the grants also do the reportings, or do the
Yes.
reportings are also
Yes, no,
overseen by your department?
as much as we can, we do follow whomever writes the grant or was involved in writing the grant is the one that also follows it. They know the budget, they know, the hopefully the timeline of when things should be purchased or what programs are doing what. So yes, that's what we try to do. Now, every once in a while, we'll have someone that really writes a bunch, and it's just too much to handle all of them. And we have other people in the department that will take that over. But normally, that's not the way
So
we
you're
do it.
still working till the end?
Correct.
basically.
So some of the, every report is a lot, it's much more than just budget.
Oh, right. Oh,
So
yeah,
the
there's programmatic
content,
reporting
do
also.
the departments send you in information? How does that work?
But basically, we follow up with them. We have a calendar of when each report is due, the programmatic reports, the fiscal reports. Some are twice a year, most are every quarter. We follow up with each department and first of all, remind them that we need this information because unfortunately, sometimes what happens is between when you write the grant and when the reporting is due, it's a different person. So we need to keep track of that also to be able to get them up to speed and make sure they know what we need to collect.
And how are you guys keeping track of all of this? Like, is this still like paper form?
Unfortunately, we are still on spreadsheets and we have looked at many software packages and most of them seem great, but there isn't just, the money hasn't been available at this point.
How much would it be for like a one position to help support the grants? Because, with administering a grant and someone that just research grants and helps, apply for grants, what would that look like in a budget? Like if you needed one person?
Well, if we had one person to just primarily sit at a computer and look for grants or make calls, because I'm actually a little bit of old school. If we're looking for money, I have no problem in reaching out to another city, to another state, wherever, and say to them, where did you get the money for this project? So if that's one of the things that we're paying them for, it would be a lower level position. However, if we were to be lucky enough to do that, it would be very helpful to have someone who has a higher level involvement so that that person could look at a grant opportunity and say, oh, you know what? I can connect parks and DPW and we can get this project done and this project done together. So that would be a little deeper knowledge.
I just think you need one. I know you guys have a heavy hit, and I know in order to keep bringing in money, you need somebody, you can't, you guys are like this, but someone that just sort of just says, I'm just gonna look at the grants, and let's see how we can do it. That's just my opinion.
It would be ideal,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. The only one thing that kind of jumped at me in your special projects, the city promotional activities and special events, what is that?
Boards. If we are on a board on behalf of the mayor's office, or we don't do as many events as we used to, but we used to go out for programs, go out and man a table for a grant that we've written with an outside agency.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
My only question is, like, I know you oversee everything, Janet, but I mean, is it like a situation where you got police, fire, parks, DPW all writing grants, you're overseeing everything? I worry about, like, sometimes us competing for grants from the same entity, like the same philanthropy, something like that.
Sure.
And I'm wondering how that affects us as far as getting the money goes.
Of course, if it happened, they wouldn't look on it very favorably.
Right.
We are very lucky that it has not happened up until now.
But you oversee everything, so you'd have to like.
I do. I have, and unfortunately, I've been here for so long that people always know to reach out and say,
right.
Are you talking to anybody else? Is there any? So we've been very, very lucky that way.
And certain expertise that maybe we wouldn't have in-house. I think in the past, haven't we joined with outside private people every once in a while to like write grants together?
Outside agencies?
Yeah, like I'm thinking like Syracuse University, for instance.
Sure. We do sometimes write grants with Syracuse University. Right. We pretty regularly write grants with community centers. And there are outside agencies. The Salvation Army, we use them in our programming. There's lots of other agencies.
Okay, so like nonprofits in the city?
Correct.
Okay.
So you help us also like with neighborhoods, or when we need help with,
Oh,
like,
sure.
like smaller parks that we get.
Does a lot.
We
So you do a lot.
regularly write and work with the Swan, not the Swan Pond, the Duck Pond in the valley.
Yeah.
And also Eastwood has a skate park, and we've regularly written grants and worked with the people in Eastwood it's mostly member items that come from the elected officials.
Okay, so we can reach out to you.
Oh,
if there's
absolutely.
grant- Oh, that's great.
Sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how does a non-for-profit get into your portfolio have a chance to be written into a grant with the city?
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
How does a non-for-profit can be part of your portfolio?
Oh, but they,
So that you can use them to...
Sure. Most of the time, it's word of mouth between the agencies, that they say, oh, we wrote, we had a grant with the city to pay for this, contact Janet. If I see something that I think would work for a community center, for example, and it may not, but I send it out to them and say, this looks interesting, I'm not sure if it would work for you. Let us know if it is, what we can do to help. We're always, when we're going through and looking for grants, we're
So you
forwarding.
have your list and you go to your list and they say, oh, this may match.
Right, right, yeah.
What is the files management grant?
We are in charge of all the the vast majority of the records in the city. So it used to be that we had all of our boxes, 5 or 6,000 over in City Hall Commons. Obviously, that's being sold, so we've moved a lot of the records over to One Park Place. And we keep track of every box, what's in the box, the date of destruction, the date that we took it into our inventory, and we follow the state schedule as far as how long we need to keep them. I have a fabulous person in my office, Teresa
What is
Monet
the grant
Sacco.
portion? So the grant, when it say file management
We
grant,
do,
is
we
that
usually file a grant. There's one grant every year for the state for records management.
for a person?
No, it's, we have a person here that works in research all the time. But lots of times we have done, for example, a couple of years ago, we wrote a grant for the marriage licenses down in the city clerk's office. They were scanned, so it's mostly programmatic that we write it for.
Okay.
Now, there has been some part-time people we've hired to scan some things to do it, but mostly it's not salaries. or
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Is that for personnel too, Janet? I mean,
Yeah, we've done personnel, we have done the zoning, we have done the city clerk's office. So yeah, we usually have some sort of a battle when the grant is announced to see who's next. But every year we write
I
a
don't
program.
know if, I don't know if they still require this, I think they do, but occasionally somebody will write into the state asking, retirement system. And they'll say, well, you got to give proof of when you started with whatever particular municipal entity, this place Syracuse.
I'm sorry, Counselor, I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm just saying that sometimes that they, when somebody retires, they write to the state to find out how much time they got, especially if there's a conflict.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you have to go dig it up, right?
We do have to dig it up.
Because the state will
No,
write back
but
to the
however,
city.
the personnel takes care of all their own records.
Mm-hmm.
They know, they're the experts, they know what they need to keep, they know their retention schedule. And we also don't necessarily want those records out where a lot of other people could get to them. Personnel handles their own, and they have all of their records now over in city, or One Park Place.
You manage them though, or the personnel
We
does?
do not.
Okay.
They manage their own.
Any more questions? Anybody? No. Okay.
Okay,
So
thanks very much.
We'll close the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
Again, I apologize for being.
No, Janet.
Good luck with
Thank you.
Alexander.
That was good.